Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan,
I am Javier.
and welcome into the season 1 finale. Yes, as we announced last week on the podcast, we are switching our format away from the weekly. We've been doing weekly episodes on wrestlers since February 14th, 2020.
Valentine's Day, baby.
Valentine's Day. And we will be switching to a season model. So this is the last episode of our usual format for the time being. We will be back. We'll be back with YouTube content. We'll be back with stuff on Instagram and all that fun stuff. But we're still going to talk about wrestlers. We're going to be doing some things. We might be talking about time frames or concepts. Our second season is going to be all about the year 1998 in wrestling. Very hot year for wrestling. So get excited for that. Tell us things you want to see. Follow us on social media at Crossbody Work on Twitter, on Instagram. We're not going anywhere. Tell us things you want to see. And check out our back catalog. There's 238 weekly episodes of this podcast. We have covered a wrestler you love. We've covered a wrestler you've never heard of.
Yes.
Go to all those episodes. Go to our favorite episodes. Go to the Harlem Heat episode. Go to the Median episode. Go to all those just chaotic episodes.
And this isn't to say that we won't go back to covering individual wrestlers at
We're
some
going to
point.
do that too. Yeah.
Who knows? We could have Crossbody of Work season 7 or 8 or 20 could be like just obscure wrestlers, and we go back to just doing the format that we had done previously.
Exactly.
But we got to give ourselves some time because we're creative people with creative ideas, and this is one of them.
And for the last episode of season 1, we are entirely cribbing an idea from one of our favorite podcasts. We're creative, but also we just want to crib an idea because it's a great idea. So every year, twice a year, there are the Take Purge episodes of the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. And they have the draft one and they have the fantasy one. And a Take Purge, as we all remember from the Purge, the movie, it's a time where for the entire episode, all takes, no matter how much you don't believe them or how ridiculous they are legal. You will be able to say whatever you want. We will discuss them. We will treat them as fair ideas. And everything is legal. We have wrestling takes. We have non-wrestling takes. We have wrestling takes submitted by listeners. We have non-wrestling takes submitted by listeners. All things will be played out because all takes are legal. Yes. Blessed be our new founding fathers in America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Did you really look up the Purge?
You're goddamn right I did.
I haven't seen that movie since, honestly, probably when it came out.
I think I watched the first 3 Purge movies in a row. I watched the first one when it came out. I watched the first 3 at
Now, you say first 3.
Yeah.
There were more?
Oh, dude, there's 7 Purge movies.
I have zero recollection of this.
I might be overestimating with 7, but
I was shocked to hear that there was a third one. I didn't even know there was. I knew
there's 5 and a 6th one in production.
Wasn't there one that actually, now I say about this, wasn't there one that came out recently? It was like the first Purge or whatever.
2021 was called the Forever Purge. 2018 was the first Purge.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so there was one in 2013, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2021. We're falling off on our purges.
It's a good concept. I guess if you do it right, you could definitely make a lot of movies out of it, which they clearly have.
A lot of things to play at, yeah.
However, only really the first one was any good. I don't know. I haven't seen anything other than the first and second one.
The third one was, I enjoyed the third one. I thought it was pretty good. That's my first take. No. All right. Sound the Scott Steiner. Holla if you hear me. All takes, wrestling or non-wrestling, no matter how hot, are now officially legal. Javier, I'm gonna cede the floor for you for our first take.
Oh God, Evan. Here's the thing. I can go categories on this if you want me to.
We can
make it a wrestling one. We'll make it a wrestling take. However, what do you want? You want promotions? You want time periods? Champions?
I want talent.
Specific wrestlers?
I want one about a talent.
All right. You're gonna freaking hate this one.
All takes are legal. Speak your truth.
I genuinely believe that Jada Parker is going to main event WrestleMania one year.
Sure. Why not?
Genuinely. I think that she is legitimately going to main event WrestleMania.
Why not?
Doesn't matter the night. You know, I will take a night 1 or a night 2 for her. But I just think, I look at this woman and I am saying, this is a megastar. Her wrestling has improved like crazy. I don't know if you've ever heard her cut a promo. She might already be the best promo in WWE.
I don't know if I actually have. I've really fallen off on my NXT.
Incredible. And
Okay.
I know this is a projecting or a projection thing, and I know, oh, of course he says Jada Parker. He's in love with Jada Parker. However, the talent is all there.
Also
Like,
there.
great wrestler. Recently started too. She started this year. It's her first year in wrestling. Uh,
2022 is when she was signed to the Performance Center.
yeah, I mean, but it's her first year like on TV doing stuff. So, I see the talent, I see the age, I see the charisma, the character. She doesn't take any crap as a character. Like I just see all that, and I'm saying this woman's going to main event WrestleMania one day. She's going to get over huge on the main roster at some point and
Okay.
legitimately defend it. Night one or night two,
Face or
last
heel.
match. I think she's best as a heel. I
Okay.
think this might be like building up another baby face to dethrone her. However,
Sure.
don't know who that's going to be. Uh, but I like I said, I think honestly she might be able to go either way. She could just be like the tough, like Becky Lynch was as the man, where she's like
Yeah.
the take no crap type of baby face that just is super cool. So she main events.
It makes me feel so sad because she's so much younger than me.
What is she
And
like 23, 24?
she's 25.
Okay.
Like she was born in 1999. She was born like a day or two before the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where Big Show debuted. That's fucking nuts. I remember it. That's my first ever pay-per-view.
I was a year and like 4 months old when that pay per view happened.
I don't think that take is hot. I think that take is fine. I think like if you're gonna pick out of the NXT women, like who's ahead of her in terms, like, I guess
I
you
mean,
go Stephanie back and you go with Julia. Like I think those are like the
Stephanie McCare, Julia,
yeah,
Roxanne.
or
Who's the
Jade
one?
maybe.
Jade. I guess they want her to be a
They
thing, but
really want her to be a big deal, and she's
Nikita
great.
Lyon, although she's moving like old
She's never
Hogan.
making it. She's never
Uh,
making it to the main roster.
there's so much talent down there that
See,
genuinely you could pick anybody out of a
I don't
hat.
think
But
it's a
I
hot
don't know.
take.
I think Jada Parker. She's just not the one that people are talking about right now. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Reddit had a thing where somebody was like, "Is Nikita Lyons ever going to make it to the main roster?" And everyone was like, "No, she has the durability issues being in NXT. She's not going to make it to the main
Yeah.
roster."
Though apparently they're setting up a love story between her and Obafemi, which I'm okay with that.
That's fine. Obafemi needs more dimensions to his character, so sure.
Yeah, Obafemi will not be on this podcast. He is very much not a hot take,
No,
unless you're
unless
talking negative
he's the
about him.
fucking best. Though I will say, people like to go with your WrestleMania projection. I bring up something we talked about 2 weeks ago with World Greatest Tag Team, which was people projecting Shelton Benjamin to the main event of WrestleMania 5 years later. And that didn't happen.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, Shelton didn't have the promo or really like the charisma,
Yeah, the
like
in-ring charisma,
on
but
the
not.
mic. You know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean?
I do. I
Uh,
do. I do.
Obafemi has that. He's a damn good promo.
Yeah, it's true. He's magnetic. All right.
I give the mic back to you.
Do you want a wrestling one?
Yeah,
I got lots
sure.
of wrestling ones.
Let's do a wrestling round for now, just to start off.
This one isn't I think particularly hot. I think it's something I know I've mentioned before on the podcast. I think it's time to retire last man standing matches. We've done them. They're all
Okay.
good. All of the best ones, I think we've exhausted the concept. People getting buried by stuff that usually now like to really protect someone in last man standing, they have to be buried alive. Just do a buried alive match.
Honestly,
Just do a
I
buried
get
alive
it.
match. Yeah.
Yeah, after Roman and Brock, we don't need
that was
another. What
we've
more do you
peaked
need?
Apex Mountain for last man standing matches. We're there. Before the
We've seen
peak
it. What was it? With the lift, they like dropped the lift on someone that one
yeah.
time.
I think we've done all we can do with the last man standing concept. There's also nothing more boring in a wrestling match than watching a referee count to 8.
God, yeah.
It's so
I know it was a botch, but
Dude.
that Kevin Owens Roman Reigns one from one of those Royal Rumble matches, that was a boring match to me.
So it's how I felt about Hell in a Cell matches for a while. Now Hell in a Cell is just like they fucking hate each other. It's going to be a bloodbath. That's what we've kind of turned Hell in a Cell into, which I think is good, because before it was like, how do we one up the last Hell in a Cell? And you never really could anymore. Mankind almost died in the second one, so
yeah,
hard to figure out from there. Rikishi even getting pushed off the thing, that was cool too.
And now we're so back because of Punk and McIntyre.
We're so back. Last man standing matches were so over. It's so over. We
Yeah.
don't need them anymore. We've exhausted the concept. Let it die. And you know what? If you can come up with a new match concept, great. New matches that have come up with in the last while, like aside from like Money
I
in the
like that
Bank.
NXT one. What is
Oh,
the
the I forget
Survivor
what's
one?
Iron Survivor.
Iron Survivor. That's a good. I like that match actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think the two that they've done so far for both the men and the women have been kind of bangers.
Yeah, it's been good. So that's my first take. Retired last man standing matches. We don't need them anymore.
You know what? I agree. I also don't think that's a hot take. I feel like a lot of people
No,
probably
I'm
agree with
starting.
that one.
I'm dipping my toes in the water. It's like in the first Purge, you like steal somebody's purse. Like you don't murder in the first
Yeah.
Purge. You don't like go. You know what I mean? You dive into it. All right, I want to go to one of our follower takes that they're purging.
Go right
This
ahead.
is from Madness of Mania on Instagram. They believe the Montreal Screwjob started as a shoot and became a work.
Ooh.
I am inclined to agree.
I think it depends on who you ask.
I think the truth is subjective on
um,
this one, but I tend to agree.
I think that it was a shoot. I think it was a shoot up until Brett punched Vince, and then every moment after that has been like a work.
Oh, see, I'm even thinking that like the initial feelings, Brett leaving for WCW, like that's all shoot, but
Yeah.
then eventually it's become a way. They were like, we can do a lot with this, and they just turned it into a work. The way
Here's the
they
thing,
bring it
though.
into the media all the time. Like I
Oh,
think there's
that
definitely
well,
some
no,
work.
all of that
All that's
absolutely.
a
The
work,
way they keep trying to publicize and they did use it. WWE did to prop up Vince as an asshole, which is true. I mean, he is.
and it's also
Uh,
not a hard thing to do.
yes. I just think knowing Bret Hart, the man, I don't think he ever would have stood with just being like it treated that badly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think he just has a sort of sense of pride with himself as a person, and he just wouldn't have let that alone or
we
let
do know
that
that
fly.
Brett won't let things go. Cough, cough. Bill Goldberg.
And also, like him and Sean legitimately hated each other at the time. Like, I
See,
think certain things from like a lot of it is built up in a way that I could believe that it's a work. Like
mhm.
Brett saying, "Oh, and Sean told me that he wouldn't do the same for dropping the title, and that's why I decided not to do it." But at the same time, no, again, knowing Brett the way that I do, yeah, that actually does seem like something he'd be like, "No, fuck you, motherfucker." Because honestly, I would do the same thing.
I get it. I get it. And honestly, I like this take. I think this is good. This is a good
I
hot
do.
take.
Yeah.
I think
You know,
it's interesting to see where people would draw the line in terms of when it becomes a work.
I'm not saying that agree with the take because I do think that it is much more. It was all a shoot, and then WWE has capitalized on it
Yeah.
to make money rather than it being a shoot in some parts and then a work in others. I do think it was a full legitimate situation that occurred, and then WWE has turned it into a money thing. However, you know what? Saying it's a work, not saying it's a full hot take because I do feel like honestly with the screw job it's probably like 60-40.
But
People
also,
do believe it's a
everything's
shoot.
a work, Brent. Now, brother, everything can become a work.
Hey, you know,
Matt Hardy and Edge became a work.
yeah, but Cody turning his dad into a belt, man, that's tough.
That's tough. All right, give me another one of your takes.
What do you want? You want
Keep
wrestling?
it wrestling. Keep it
You want to
wrestling
keep it
related.
wrestling? Do you want
Yeah,
me to do another wrestler? You want me to do a
whatever your heart
championship
desires.
thing?
Dive into it.
Oh God, here's my hot take.
Okay.
AEW shot itself in the foot with this new angle of pushing the young guys.
Okay. Explain.
You would think it's to prop up, like, I get it. You want to make Daniel Garcia, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, the Private Party, the Dark Order. I guess already got kicked to the curb last week. In that whole thing, you want to prop them up and make them big stars, right? However, this is the same angle they did like earlier this year with the Elite.
Yeah, and then didn't Tony say that he didn't want it to seem like he wasn't making the decisions, and so that's why he kind of nixed the angle a little
He
bit.
nixed that, and now like what power does? Oh, he's the champion who doesn't want the belt. He wants to like make the young guys better, but also here's the thing, Evan, and I mean this sincerely. I love Orange Cassidy. You know I do. Is Orange Cassidy going to beat John Moxley? No. Is he going to beat Jack Perry? No. Is he going to do anything? No. Darby Allin, let's say he's the one, and I do think he's going to be the one to beat John Moxley for the title. Does that make Darby Allin really that much better or bigger of a star? Like I feel
Okay.
like Darby, we've kind of reached a crescendo point with Darby after, especially post Sting stuff, all this, where I feel like Darby's kind of just gotten as popular as he's going to get. It's like Jeff Hardy. I know he got pushed to the championship level,
Ooh.
but Jeff Hardy, I guess this is another hot take within this hot take. There was always a ceiling on Jeff. Like we thought Jeff was really cool,
Yeah.
but you put the belt on Jeff and then what? Like, is Jeff Hardy going to main event WrestleMania? No.
So I'm gonna give a good analogy, I think, for your take for Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin. You know the way that you would think your friend's older brother is cool growing up, where you're like, wow,
Yeah.
he like goes out and goes to parties and does cool stuff. You don't actually want to hang out with your friend's older brother. You just think he's
Yeah.
cool. And that was Jeff Hardy, and that is Darby Allin. You're like, dude, it's cool. He's on a skateboard. He's got his fucking face painted. He looks awesome. It's
Yeah.
cool. I don't think he should be in charge.
No. Like, I think there's a limit to all these young talent. Like, I love Daniel Garcia. That's great. Him being Jack Perry, that's going to be a great moment for him. However, what does that do for AEW? Like, putting these young guys on this pedestal, like, that's a great decision. However, I don't think any of these dudes really have like legitimate top tier star power, and that's what they freaking need right now.
Who would you get to face the BCC?
I don't know. I wouldn't have done this angle. Like, that's my issue here. Is like they're taking all of these young guys that they have and they're sort of just like kicking them down, kicking them down, kicking them down, and hoping that they come back up as bigger stars. But when you have these talent that are established, like Moxley and the elite guys, kicking them down and kicking them down, that just puts more heat on your already like their stars, and those already their stars aren't freaking moving the needle for them. And I'm not saying that ratings or anything like that matter. And I'm not saying that they're supposed to, compete with WWE because, I guess you can make this another hot take if you want. They're not going to compete with WWE. They shouldn't be competing with WWE.
Yeah.
And so it's like to put yourself in the best position possible moving forward to grow the audience, grow the business, make wrestling really give an alternative. You have to build your own like real stars, and the guys who they have built as real stars to this point that have been pushed to that top level and got crazy over, that are like their own talent. I don't want to say Swerve because Swerve was already super over in WWE. Then he came over. He was already super over, and when he started in AEW, and then it just became like a pop, and he got the
I
rocket.
would say that Swerve was not nearly this over as he was
No,
in
no, no.
WWE.
I mean, like there was already a baseline
Yeah.
of how popular he was with the audience, and then, the moment happened, it snapped, and boom, like it was like he got the rocket put on him as far as crowd reactions and all that goes. The only guy who's an AEW original and like didn't really have like WWE affiliation or like a very long Ring of Honor, New Japan, PWG like affiliation, any of that, was MJF. He's the only one.
Yep.
Orange Cassidy to a certain degree. However, Orange Cassidy is not going to be the guy that you can depend on to be one of the faces of the company. And I do like that AW is doing this thing where they don't have one guy, they have like a bunch of different options. However, if your different options are Daniel Garcia, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and let's put Max back up there. Really?
It's Max then. It's Max or it's Darby. Those are the two
Yeah,
options.
really?
It's where they're at right now, and I think you're right. I think they are a little reliant on their old. They are in a spot though where I think where they're a
They're
little
just doing
reliant
this
on their
too
old
soon,
guys.
man.
A lot of their guys are not long-term solutions. So this is a good take. I like this
There's
take.
no blue chips. You got to get some blue chips, and that's who you build around. Or like when those blue chips start
They
getting a
gotta
little
build.
bit of buzz,
They gotta just keep
that's
building
when
up.
you do something like this. You don't do this with guys like that are like limited upside, because then you blow off this insane story or this insane moment on guys who aren't going to be able to get, like, let's say it's WWE. The Tony D'Angelo beating Obafemi moment was huge, right?
Yeah.
It's still Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah. I think
You
the only one
know,
who, and you said he's like a WWE guy, but like I think Swerve has the ability to be their number one guy.
and he, for the most part, is already one of their top guys.
Yeah,
But what I mean is like guys who did not have that background. Because Swerve, like I said, he was already popular.
yeah.
He just again ascended to
So
that
you're waiting
level.
for them to get their truly homegrown talent
Yeah, I'm talking
that
about a
has a
guy who
next
is an
level.
AEW person. Who is their Goldberg? You know what I mean? Like, who is
Mm.
Goldberg
Wardlow.
is the only WCW guy. It's like him and DDP. Who's their Goldberg? Who's their DDP? Who's their guy Booker T? Who's their person that was here that we helped, that we took from not known in the mainstream at all? It doesn't have the backing from different promotion, like different major promotions like WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, previously PWG, like stuff like that, who came here and boom, shot all the way up. Who's that going to be?
Hard to find, hard to
It's
pinpoint,
Kyle
but
Fletcher.
in his freshly shaved head. All right. Even without Paul Heyman's money mismanagement, ECW was never going to be bigger than where it was. It has always been destined for the Ring of Honor slot.
Ooh.
It is intensely regional. It is limited in terms of its appeal, like broadly. It was never
Okay.
going to be able to usurp WCW. It was never going to be able to usurp WWE. It was essentially a proto. It was like the best type of development for certain guys. If you wanted cruiserweights, if you wanted young
Yeah.
guys, it was a great place to get reps. There are people out there who think that ECW without Paul Heyman somehow would have become like if it was Paul Heyman handled creative and there was someone handling the money. You're right. They probably would have lasted longer. They definitely would have not gone out of business the way they did. They would have never gotten like they had probably reached close to their regional like the regional peak. Like they probably would have gotten a little more national attention, a little more steady. Maybe they keep that TNN spot. Maybe they're on Spike TV instead of
Maybe they might
TNA.
move up a little bit there. You know?
Maybe they do a little better. They're always third. There was never a world where they were not going to be third, and that breaks my heart.
I mean, yeah, like they were always going to be third. However, I do think that in a post WCW world, uh, ECW could have been TNA before TNA,
Okay,
and that
so
would have been really
in a
good for the
world where
business.
ECW where ECW exists, WCW still folds, and TNA pops up. ECW supersedes TNA.
I think maybe eventually, depending on what happens with like, you know,
Certain talent.
backing certain
Yeah.
talents going wherever, like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and all these guys, maybe they still go to TNA. But who knows? Now that
But
ECW still is also a
maybe Punk
possibility.
goes to ECW, maybe Samoa Joe goes to ECW. You're right.
Yeah, and suddenly
However,
you've got young guys who do not have their faces in who haven't had their faces in WWE, and suddenly that's where you get your your little uprising. You know,
I think
it's
even
not
with that,
competitive with WWE. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like I think there was a chance
I
for
think
them to be
ECW
big.
as a brand was fundamentally limited in terms of if the goal was always to do hardcore things, which is
Yeah.
not all of ECW. And this is someone who's I've watched ECW, I've gone through. It's not always hardcore, but that was the way it was perceived and the way it was really shown to the world. I
Yep.
think there was a limit, and this is just
Oh
because
yeah.
there are people who like to rewrite history that like just because Paulie's bad with money is the only no, ECW was never going to be a true competitor.
Yeah. It shut down for a
And
lot of reasons, man.
yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't just
Also
Paul
WWE
Heyman.
kept fucking stealing their people. Just
It's true. Um. Oh, can I just a quick little like take here? Cat
Mhm.
hair, man,
It gets everywhere.
everywhere. This isn't even a take, but like cats, what the hell? Go bald. Because
Go
Jesus,
bald.
you're people watching this on YouTube. If you keep see me doing this, I promise it's not the booger sugar. I just have cat hair all over this region.
We do not have the funds for Booger Sugar. All right. I've got another wrestling one from Joseph Lopez 396 on Instagram.
Shout out.
Very simple. CM Punk is overrated.
Yes,
I can see it.
I
I can
agree.
see it.
No, I agree, and I'm not going to say it just now. I'm going to say it as a total career thing.
Okay.
Yeah, CM Punk's overrated. Here's the thing, right? Punk is touted as this guy that because he existed and because of the places that he got to in WWE, he paved the way for these indie guys to be
Hmm.
able to, ascend to certain levels and all this stuff. It was always going to happen.
That was going to become the feeding system. Like that
It
was
was
always going to
always
become the
going to
feeding system.
happen. And like, are you telling me that because of him, guys like Bryan Danielson, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like these guys are like, no, because Seth Rollins was always going to come. Cesaro was always going to come. Like their Ring of Honor in 2004 or 5 was stacked
Hmm.
with talent across the board. But the big names were CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, Austin Aries. You bring your Christopher Daniels, guys like this who are some of them were part Ring of Honor, part TNA, all this stuff. But like 2004, 2005, 2006, that's kind of like the backbone of the brand. It's those guys.
Yeah.
Um, and you mean to tell me that there was no chance that coming off of that, like let's say Punk goes to WWE, everything happens the same way. However, Punk flames out in like 2008,
Yeah. It
right?
just
Let's say
doesn't
he
go
doesn't,
well.
it doesn't go well. He's released 2009. He goes back to the Indies. Do you mean to tell me that it's not going to go well for Tyler Black when he signs there in 2009, 2010? You
It's
can
still
tell me it's
Seth
not going to
Rollins.
go well
Yeah.
for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens when they get there a decade later. Like, no, this is always going to happen. There was always going to be one. Now, do I give respect to him for being the first guy to do it and all this stuff? Yeah, that's cool. Like, great for him. However, Bryan Danielson did it, but did it better. Like Daniel
I
Bryan did it, but
I
better.
like that take. I like that take
Um,
very much.
and then not only that, he always talks about wanting to give back to the business and how pro wrestling was all this stuff. And yes, do I have my sour grapes with Phil Brooks, the individual, as opposed to CM Punk, the wrestler? Absolutely, I do. I think he genuinely is a good human being, but I think he's so fucking like he's such a big ego, and like I think he has a bigger head about himself than he should. Uh, and like I do think that a lot of his contributions get overinflated because we just like him as a wrestler.
He's
Whereas,
also cool.
yeah, he's also like a cool dude.
He seems like a very
Based,
cool person.
also just like based and all this stuff. But like, come on, man. Think about his contributions versus Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson laps him, in my opinion. Not even just like as a performer. I'm talking literally just contributions to pro wrestling. Without Bryan Danielson, we don't get Evolve. Without Bryan Danielson, we don't get Ring of Honor in that transition period after Joe, Punk, and these guys left. Because Bryan Danielson held it down for like a year or two to basically save the company as the main eventer and put on these big shows. Him and Nigel McGuinness. And then like that's the we get to AEW doesn't isn't anywhere near where it is the last 3 years I guess it would be without Bryan Danielson. So like he is given back so much more. I agree. CM Punk is overrated. He absolutely is. This is a good take. It's a hot take. It's a good one too.
CM Punk pretty much fucking rules. So it's hard. I think CM Punk is overrated in comparison to where he thinks he is in the world, but
Yeah, he's
I
just
think
not that guy. He's not
I
that guy.
think I think people are starting to see him a little bit more irrationally, but the CM Punk diehards are diehards. All right. Give me one. It can be wrestling or non wrestling. Give me a
Oh
take.
man. All right. Well, I'll
Cleanse your
do the
soul.
first. I'll do the first non wrestling take here.
Sure.
This is a hot take, and it's super important to me, and I get judged
I'm
about it a
so
lot. But
excited
this
for
is a
this.
take. Purge.
Okay.
Chocolate fucking sucks.
Okay, before you launch into your take, I need to give some context for the listeners. Javier came to Canada for the first time for my bachelor party. I know we've talked about it on this podcast, but if you haven't heard this, we get to the grocery store and I'm going to show Javier all of the new Canadian things.
Yes.
The thing we realize is more than anything, Canada has a variety of different chocolates compared to the States. Fucking everything is chocolate in compared to
Yes.
the States. So this guy doesn't like chocolate. So the only thing we can really get him to try, or the most important thing, was cream soda. And holy
Great.
shit, this guy loved cream soda.
That's not going to be a part of this because cream soda is great and
Cream
everybody
soda
knows it.
rules. Anyways, say why you hate chocolate.
Chocolate just tastes bad. It tastes bad, and everyone here is like, "Oh no, chocolate's great. Chocolate's blah blah blah, 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 all this stuff about chocolate." Guess fucking what?
What?
If Augustus Goop loved chocolate so much that he's able to go into a goddamn river for it, chocolate's not goddamn worth it. All right, I know it's a fictional character in the story about just gluttony and how capitalism sucks, but still, the point stands. Chocolate tastes bad, and if you think it tastes good, I bet you like coffee too. Just
I
regular black coffee
I feel bad
also
for the
sucks.
for the actor who plays Augustus Gloop in the new one, because they give him the horizontal stripes. Like, that's not a flattering thing if
What do you
you're a
mean there's a new one?
well, the newer of the two. Like, I'm thinking like there's the Gene Wilder.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they put him in the horizontal stripes, and that's mean. I cannot endorse this take in good faith.
It's chocolate's bad. Chocolate's bad. It tastes bad.
I don't.
It's bad for you.
So here's the thing: you say that if you like chocolate, you probably like
Also,
coffee. Why
everyone's
is
like,
that the connection?
"Oh, because coffee also sucks." Here's the thing. If you have to put shit in it for it to taste good, it sucks.
What do you mean by that?
Everyone's like, "Oh, I want my coffee, cream, 3 sugars, blah blah blah, all
Oh
this
yeah, yeah.
stuff,
No, I also don't like
milk,
coffee.
blah blah blah."
Are you saying that applies to chocolate too?
No.
Okay.
Chocolate, here's my thing with chocolate is, right, everyone's like, "Oh, I tell people I don't like chocolate." And they're like, "What about white chocolate?" That's just sugar. Why is it
That
called
is just
white
sugar.
chocolate if it's just sugar? If your response to me is, "What about white chocolate?" and white chocolate's just sugar, guess what? That's not fucking chocolate. That's sugar.
I,
Chocolate
like I
sucks. It
said,
tastes bad. Chocolate ice cream, the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. Anyone that eats, like, genuinely sits down at an ice cream spot, fucking 100 different flavors in front of you, and you're like,
hey,
"I want the fucking
you
chocolate."
shouldn't take chocolate unless you're under the age of 6. That's fair.
You shouldn't even be 6 having chocolate. Chocolate
Especially if there's that many
milkshakes,
flavors, you gotta have
chocolate milkshakes, be an adult, get a vanilla or a strawberry or any other fruit flavored one.
strawberry. Strawberries, no, strawberry's an awful flavor at most restaurants. It's awful.
It depends on where you're going. If you're going to Chick-fil-A, strawberries freaking amazing.
Think I
Same
have
thing
a
with Shake Shack.
Think I have a Chick-fil-A around me in Northern Ontario. All right, so I'm gonna stick on the food takes, and then we'll take our first break. This is one that is I wholeheartedly believe, and I have gotten flack for. If you have leftovers of any sort, they must be eaten at the temperature the food was originally served at. No cold pizza, no
Oh,
cold no. If it was meant to
Evan.
be eaten at that temperature,
Oh,
you
Evan.
reheat it to
No.
that temperature.
Evan, no. Evan.
Yes. This is my
Evan.
truth. I speak to my
Okay,
truth.
here's my thing. Well, I actually no, I can argue with this. I can argue. I can clap back at this a little bit. I'm not going to judge you. I'm judging you internally because you
Oh,
know
that's
how I
fair.
am.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a judgy ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
However, I will not disparage you over the microphone because that is the point of this podcast.
This is not undisputed.
Although I really want to.
We're not scared.
Here's the thing. Pizza for me. I'm going to use pizza as the example because
Sure.
it's probably like the most common one.
It's where this one came from. It's 100%
It's the
the
most
root of
common
this
one.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I get pizza, and I let's say I get a box of pizza, small pizza. I don't eat it all. I leave like 2 slices.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna turn my fucking broiler on to heat up those 2 slices if I left them out sitting in the open for like a few hours. I'm just gonna eat the room temperature pizza.
So room temperature
I know this is different.
is different.
However, this is where I go back to it. So I go back.
Yeah.
I don't believe in cold pizza that you leave in your fridge and eat the next day. I'm heating that up.
Thank you.
Room temperature, like if I ate pizza, I left it in the box and I just put it on top of my like stove or whatever for like
Yeah.
3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I got pizza in the afternoon, I eat it at night. I'm not heating that sucker up. I'm eating it the way it is.
And I don't want doctors, because there's no doctors who listen to this, but if a doctor was like, "Oh, there's a certain amount of time," and listen, if it's in the pizza box, it's magically fine. Okay,
I'll tell you right now, pizza's pizza.
pizza's pizza.
All right.
So this
I'm
take
also
came
not
about
leaving
because
like a fucking barbecue chicken pizza or like some extravagant thing that I have to worry about bacteria
so I
later.
had
I'm
people
getting
who
cheese or
said
pepperoni.
they said, are you like if you had a say like a chicken breast the night before, and you know cooked it or whatever, and you wouldn't just eat that cold.
Different.
And I said no, unless it was being turned into
Wait,
some part of a cold, like if it became like a cold like you can repurpose
hold on.
things.
Time out. Flag on the
Yeah,
play. Whoop, whoop. Red flag. We're reviewing that one.
yeah.
Motherfuckers is just eating cold chicken breasts?
There were people at my work
Like
who
raw. You mean like raw, like not raw, like sorry. I say I don't
just
mean
ate
raw like literally raw. I'm
like
talking
literally
like
cold chicken. They were not
I'm talking
warming up
like
their leftovers.
maybe they meal prepped. Like it's the leftover chicken breast. Maybe there's like a
Mm-hmm. Like a
I don't even want to
sauce
say
on it or
rice
something.
because if you're eating cold rice, we've got problems here.
Mm-hmm.
But like let's say it's like chicken breast. Maybe they threw a little bit of a sauce. And there's like what's something that like would reasonably be eaten cold, like mashed potatoes or like just regular potatoes. You know, I wouldn't recommend it. It's terrible. But however, I could see some lazy person just sitting there being like, "I'm gonna just eat this cold chicken breast and mashed potato." That's revolting.
I have had people in my life eat stir fry cold,
You can't. Meat is
eat
like you
eat
can't. You
like
have
a
to reheat
shepherd's
the meat,
pie
man.
cold, like
That's with
unhinged
the gravy.
behavior with the gravy as a gelatinous mess. It's and then people think I'm going too far because I say like, well, then no cold pizza, and they're like, well, no, that takes too far. I'm like, well, then warm up the other things in your life. All right,
What the hell is going on here?
Canada's unhinged. All right, we're gonna take our first break. We're gonna regroup. When we get back, we have more takes. Back from the break, we lead in with a wrestling take that I'm so excited to talk about. I'm so excited to talk about this wrestling take.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is from a follower with the handle PRODGE _ Ethan. Ethan
Shout out.
sent us, is pro wrestling just manly drag? And the answer is 100% yes. And people who don't agree need to get the fuck real.
Here's the thing. Will I say it's drag? We're like a percentage. I will say yes to a percentage of it
Okay.
because I think it goes way further beyond that. I think it's like it's so much more than drag. It's like 100% just like theater. Like it's like you're playing. It's like a play. It's musicals. It's all this shit all
Yeah.
combined together into this, like the frilliest thing you can imagine. Just the same. It's like I want to say this on the caveat that I've never been to a drag show.
Are you
However,
serious?
I've never personally been to a drag show. I've seen
Oh my God.
clips
They're
of,
so
and
fun.
videos of them. Oh, they look like a fucking
They're
hoot.
so fun.
They look like an absolute hoot. I wish I had. Honestly, I'm probably in the city that probably does the most of them, other than New York City. Um, because for those who do not know, Boston has its rep for being like racist and homophobic. However, super gay, which is like great. Shout out. Um, but yeah, uh, is it just manly drag? You know what? I'm inclined to agree with Ethan to a certain
So
extent here. Only to a
I
certain extent
I
because
agree
it
with
goes
Ethan.
beyond just drag. You know
I
what I
agree with
mean?
Ethan 100%. So to go into the drag world, what is drag? Drag is the
I also have not
amplification.
seen RuPaul's drag show.
Oh my God, my
I
child.
only have so much bandwidth in my life,
It
man.
is the amplification of gender expression. That is the way I would describe drag. Is people taking gender to its most performative. What is wrestling if not being the manliest man and the womanliest woman that you can find? So much of it is about being appealing. It's about the the character that you
Okay,
present. It is about the pageantry. The
it's
fuck
about the
WrestleMania
peacocking.
is the world's biggest drag show. Look at all the cool costumes they have on. They also put a bunch of explosions. Isn't
I
that
know you
fun?
saw Seth Rollins' gear.
And then it is about the athletic part. Like there's so much about drag that is talent based. So much of drag
Oh
is like
yeah.
lip sync, singing, performing, dancing.
Oh, the
So
Vogue
this is
dancing.
just
Forget
that.
about it.
This is just that in a wrestling ring. It is 100% drag. It is all drag. And the fact that it's like, call me by my character name, not my other, like it's all drag, baby. It's all pretend. It's all makeup. It's I texted Ethan back and I
Wow.
messaged him back and I was like, this is my favorite take we've gotten so far. I 100% agree.
What do you think the Undertaker would think about this?
He would probably disagree with me and say that I'm a pansy, and that's fine. That's fine. That's
Well,
fine with me.
maybe not that. I think he'd be more civil about it. What do you
I don't know
think
if he would.
Kane would say about it?
I would remind Kane that he was
Glenn
in
Jacobs.
a telenovela essentially about murdering a woman and having sex with her dead body. So,
Well,
maybe not one to throw stones.
there's also the impregnating Lita
Yeah.
via
Yeah.
kidnapping.
Wrestling is the most ridiculous soap opera that's ever existed, but the performance and the pageant, like I think of I could picture a drag queen coming out in Charlotte Flair's WrestleMania gear. You know what I mean? Like that level of pageantry, that level, and then drag kings, they would
I could
100%
also just see that
dress
at
like
like a
Cody
Victoria's
Rhodes,
Secret show. That
but not with this. There's entrance themes. It's all a big thing. It's so good. Again,
you know,
100% on board with this take.
I'm with it to a certain extent. However,
You got to go to a drag show.
I want to again give the caveat that I've never been to a drag show and I haven't watched RuPaul's
You got to
Drag
go to a
Race.
drag show. All right. Back to wrestling for us. Javier, give us a wrestling take.
I'm like so warped right now after that one that it's
God, it's so good.
What have I done so far? I've done companies, I've done talent. Have I done any other ones?
I mean,
I
just
did chocolate, right?
chocolate. Yeah.
I got to go across the board here. I want to cover all aspects of it. We'll do a championship.
Great.
The current United States Championship is the ugliest belt I have ever seen in my life for a title that actually
Ooh.
has meaning.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm not like saying,
Why?
hardcore title 24/7, any of these, I-95, 75 South. I'm talking about a title with history, prestige, a legacy that spans multiple promotions, all this stuff. If you include, which are, who are we kidding? It's pretty much just tag titles. The main, championships like the
Yeah.
WWE, WCW, heavyweight, all that stuff, IWGP. I'm including multiple promotions here as well. And like the women's titles. Of all of those fucking things, the current United States belt sucks. It's the worst one.
Is it the big letters that say champion?
You don't understand this reference probably because you haven't seen My Hero Academia. But it just looks like fucking All Might's face. Like,
Okay.
look up All Might from My Hero Academia when he's like actually puffed up in his hero like look. It just looks like his fucking face. And I hate it. It's bad, man. It's just a
It
really
does look like this man's face.
It's just a really fucking bad title. And people are going to come back with that like copper, penny, whatever tag titles that were being used prior to this recent refresh that they did at WrestleMania. But like, I don't give a shit, man. Those titles are ass. Those titles are ass, but this current title that they have for the United States Championship is 3 hot pounds of fresh dookie.
This title looks like if you got a Halloween costume of a wrestler at like a party city, that this would be the belt that comes with it because it just says champion.
This is like if I asked my mom to make me a Cody Rhodes costume.
Mama, I look like Cody Rhodes. All right, you got a little belt that says champion. All right, you're
That's
all
what this
set.
costume looks like. It looks like if Cody Rhodes was made by my mother.
Cody Rhodes from Demu.
Not even
I agree.
Tebow, man. This
Tell
is the
us,
worst.
tell us in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, or tell us on Twitter or Instagram at Crossbody of Work if there's a worse title, or if you 100% agree with this one. Because I agree. I think
This is my take.
I think you're right.
Again, a caveat: a title with actual meaning, prestige. Like this title, literally, this is Dusty Rhodes had this title. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
Magnum
the lineage
TA.
of it goes back to
Yeah.
Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes. Like these are legendary, and it's had so many good looks to it throughout the years. And then there's this monstrosity of a thing.
Yeah, it's not pretty. All right. Bo Dallas was the best NXT champion. The gimmick was great. It was super fun. And it's the most I cared about someone losing an NXT title.
God damn you. You saying this during a take purge where I can't berate you for it is so hurtful
I
for
am not
so many
saying
reasons.
that the other reigns were bad. I'm not
The
saying
man that beat him was better.
I am
Like,
not saying that the I'm not saying that the matches were as good as some other. There have been amazing NXT title matches. Yes, Bo Dallas was so fucking good in the
you son
Bo
of a
Leave
bitch.
era. It was outstanding. I hated him so much. I had just gotten back into wrestling. I hated him so much. I wanted nothing more than to see that man get his ass kicked. And every week, I genuinely don't know if I felt that much ire towards someone in just it was so he was so punchable, he was so believable. You could tell that he believed it.
Kevin Owens would like a word.
Kevin Owens is great. Kevin Owens is great. I think that Bo Dallas was the best NXT champion.
Tommaso Ciampa. You didn't
Tommaso Ciampa
hate
was
Ciampa as
no,
much that first run. You didn't hate him more than you
no,
did.
because I didn't like Johnny Gargano that much. I like
That's different.
Ciampa was
No,
my preferred
come
of the two
on.
DIY members. So
Yeah, but that's like a whole different thing.
yeah, it's fair.
That's like a
They're
separate issue.
like I love Trick Williams. I thought he's great. I
It's
thought Braun
great.
Breaker's
It's hard with baby faces
yeah,
because
Babyface
it's
is great.
like
I thought Kevin Owens was great. Obviously, I thought the way Kevin Owens won it was great. But my God, the 260 days
it's not
of
even
Bo
better than
Dallas
it's not even better than Adrian Neville's. The
it was
man
better
went
than
from
Neville's.
the biggest baby face in NXT to borderline being the biggest heel, and he didn't even have a heel turn.
I think that our view on Neville's run is clouded by his role as Pac now. I love Bo Dallas. I think that it was great.
It's Pac.
You don't believe. That's fine. All right. We have two more viewer ones, and then you and I will go back and forth. Listener one that we got. These are from Numba_8B.
Shout out my
On
mans.
That's your man's, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Just trying to
Superman
get
is
him into
better than
wrestling.
Batman.
I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker. I'm gonna shoot him. I know him in real life. I can wait. As soon as the mics go off, I'm allowed to go to his house and smack the shit out of him for this. He said this because he knows I hate Superman, and
Why do you hate Superman?
why do you hate Superman? Why did people fucking hate Roman Reigns from 2015 to 2020 or whenever the hell that time period
He was
was?
poorly presented.
Exactly. Like this. Oh, Superman died. He's coming right the fuck back. Be real with yourselves, people. Oh my God, he got killed by Abomination. It's the craziest thing ever. Yeah, okay. Congratulations. He'll be back next fucking comic book. Like, my thing with Superman is that in a world where everyone just remembers his death, that says everything I need to know about the character.
I think there are better Superman runs that you need to experience. Like there are
Oh,
other Superman
do you mean heel Superman?
No. I hate the idea that Superman needs to be presented as a bad guy or as like with an edge. Superman is at his best as a representation of hope and the American way. That is
My
genuinely his
thing.
like, and his
No.
treatment in most properties in the last couple of years is to make him more like Batman, and that is the wrong decision.
The best version of Superman is still just a white meat babyface.
Yes, I agree.
That's fucking boring in comic books. It's great
No,
in
there's
and
so
it's
much.
great in wrestling. It's
There's
great in
so
wrestling.
much more to him.
Genuinely, it's so good. The best comics are characters. There's story, there's emotion, there's oomph. It's not, oh my God, where all hell's broken loose. The big bald guy and Brainiac are here to fuck everything up. Oh, wait, no, our freaking weird little alien guy who gets the superpowers from the sun is actually going to take care of it because nobody can kill him because a little tiny glowing rock can.
There are certain Superman arcs I think you need to
Do you
read.
think I haven't read on most of them? I've read it all, man. My
I don't
issue
think you
is
have.
the unbeatable force. This is like, here's the thing. I'm not gonna. I hate like this is a billionaire who is so well versed in so many different forms of combat. It's insane that I am about to say this. Superman and Batman is like comparing Brock to like Daniel Bryan. Like it is there is just no universe where I'm looking at Brock Lesnar and I'm like, that guy's going to be more popular than Bryan Danielson. Because he's not. Because the story arc of Bryan Danielson is always going to be better than the story arc of Brock Lesnar. However, the best role for Brock Lesnar is the badass who beats everyone up. Superman isn't that. He's just not that. Like there's character flaws with Superman where like he cares about his family and he cares about humanity. And that's it.
I think you're
I just can't
simplifying
get
him
behind that,
to an
man.
umpteenth
I just
degree.
can't get
I
behind
will
it.
not. And like, here's the thing. I also want to say I prefer Batman to Superman, but I feel like there's so much more to Superman that you're just glossing over.
There's
But
also just way
I
more
provide you
depth to
with your
Batman,
friend's
man.
other take, which I feel like you can predict in your bones. What do you think he said?
There's so many things you could possibly say that I can't even like.
All right. Well, I would just present it with Cyclops is better than Wolverine.
I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker, man. I'm gonna shoot the Superman thing. I can let slide. This goes beyond the Purge. Cyclops is a piece of shit little goddamn Boy Scout who had absolutely no business being the leader of the X-Men, and yet somehow he was. He's a terrible character. He is a cuck who has a goddamn ego because he thinks, oh, I'm the almighty good guy, when really he's fucking not. He's just an asshole that everyone thinks is actually a good guy because he's a goody two shoes. You know who Cyclops is? He's fucking Randall or whatever the hell that kid's name is
From
in
Recess?
Yes, that is fucking Cyclops.
I
There's a take
agree.
Purge. You know what? Actually, good thing that this is a take Purge because we're lighting that take on fucking fire.
I think that there's more to Cyclops than people like to see because people just
More
think he
more
was
more than
good.
Wolverine, more than
No,
Logan.
no. You didn't let me finish. I
That
think
was the
Wolverine's
take.
better. I think Wolverine's better by a lot. But you are allowed to think that. I think there are people out there who agree that Cyclops is better, and that's okay.
No, and those people are wrong. You know who Cyclops is better than? Beast. I'll let him be better than Hank.
I love my boy Hank. I love a nerd. All right, give me a wrestling or non-wrestling one, and then we'll start to do some rapid fires.
Oh man, I'll do a non-wrestling one.
Sure.
I'm gonna get so much hate for this one. I feel like at least. Digimon was actually better than Pokemon.
Oh, okay. State your
But
case.
Pokemon had so much better PR. And like it was easier to translate to kids. I just love Digimon, and I always did as a kid. It was like the coolest fucking cartoon, but Pokemon just had better PR.
You strike
Like
me as people who like Digimon better also like ate at Burger King and drank Pepsi.
I didn't
Like
drink Pepsi, but I love Burger King.
you just love the
I
second
hate
best version of
McDonald's, but
things.
that's not a hot take.
All right, tell me why Digimon's better. This is so good.
I love the individual. Like, don't get me wrong. I overall, as an overall product, like you're taking card games, video games, TV shows, movies, all that
Yeah.
taking into account, I think Pokemon is better.
Okay.
I do. However, strip it all down to the barest basics of the concept itself
Okay.
and like what these two things are. I think Digimon is better.
So I always struggle with the rules of the Pokemon world. You know what I mean? Like I do, where it's like there are these animals and they're among us, but also some of them are like some of them are like treated equivalent to people, and some of them are not, and some of them need these magical stones. And there's the first Pokemon, and there's God Pokemon, and all these things. Digimon, I think, had a little bit more of a simpler, if I remember
It's just
correctly.
digital monsters.
Yeah, they're just like computer monsters.
They're just little computer monsters that you have. It's such a simple concept, and I genuinely feel like it's significantly like real. You know what I mean? Like we don't have our entire world where we have to share it with these dangerous ass Pokemon, and our only reason, our only way of like doing this thing is like think about Pokemon from like a literal standpoint.
Yeah.
We have to enslave these Pokemon and force them to fight each other to make us better. Like that's how like you can't get a real job. No, screw that. You have to be a Pokemon master. That's like you're bigger than God if you do that. If
And I
you would
remember
slave the best Pokemon and learn to beat everybody else, you're Jesus Christ in this
Digimon
Pokemon
had like
world.
some really cool designs for the
So fucking
monsters too.
cool. I can look it up right now. There's some freaking awesome ones, man. Like
And then like I know Pokemon got too big, and so there was one where it was like it's an ice
it's
cream cone.
it's a fucking lizard dragon with blades in its forearm, man.
It's pretty cool.
We got ice cream cones. Digimon's got this shit.
And there's one Pokemon one that's like keys.
Oh, I mean that's a lot of the newer stuff. Also, you probably haven't seen the Digimon like anime or animated show.
I've seen a
It's
couple episodes.
awesome. I freaking love Digimon. You know, I'm just gonna say it. My hot take: Digimon as just a concept, not just that's what not like we can't factor in the fact that Pokemon has the games, the cards, the all this stuff. If we're just
Pokemon
taking
Go.
what
Mhm.
it Pokemon Go, what it actually is,
Yeah.
like the concept of these digital monsters, and that's how we do it versus the Pokemon concept of the Pokemon are among us. We like train them. We sometimes befriend them. I guess if you're Ash Ketchum or all this stuff, we battle and then we move up the gyms and all this stuff. Digimon's just better. It just
Okay.
is.
My last non-wrestling take for the take purge is my boomer opinion.
Go ahead.
There is no reason all of these things need to either be subscriptions or I need to sign up for them with my email. There is no godly reason my furnace needs to be controlled by an app on my not everything needs a subscription.
Okay,
I had
does it
somebody
have to be an app on
yes.
your phone?
Yes. So many of these things are
Weird.
now you have to like why do I have to make an
You should have
account
like a
to
little
order a
remote.
pizza? The fuck are we doing? This is unbelievable. I had somebody at work and explain to me
Just call.
they're in their 40s and they were like I had cassettes and then I moved to CDs and then I moved to buying an iTunes album or library and all this stuff. And then I now pay a subscription every month for the music I already owned. And I was like, yeah, what is wrong with that? There are too many things that require our emails for sign up. I get too many fucking spam emails from things I don't even remember signing up for because I need to use a service one time. Not everything
Here's
needs
where
to be
you
a
messed
subscription
up.
model. It's the
Here's where you
worst.
messed up. Here's where you messed up. You have to have multiple emails that you put under one. Like you've
I
got
should just be able to
literally,
use stuff.
you should have eGomes Music, eGomes TV, eGomes like services, and that is
Absolutely not.
exactly what like it.
Absolutely not.
Are the emails that you use.
This world needs to
You're just not
be.
thinking as 300 IQ as you should be.
No, I'm thinking that I should be able to just use stuff because I own it. If I own it, I get to use it. This is such horseshit. I
Yeah,
don't
you are
understand
using
why
it. Also, the
everything.
pizza thing, ordering the pizza thing, brother, just call. You could still call.
Yes, and I do call, but like doing like big group orders or whatever doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's when you should
It
call.
should always be easier to use. Like not everything needs to be a subscription. Not everything needs to be a sign up. I don't want to subscribe. I don't want to subscribe to find your fucking recipe online. You don't need my weekly. You know what I mean? Just tell me how to make a frittata. I swear to God.
Google it. Just Google it.
But
And
then the
then
thing is, I find a
don't
nice recipe
sign
and I
up.
go online and then I go to that recipe and they're like, actually, this one's just for subscribers. I'm like, I'm going to kill you. I got to find a different one then. Oh my God. That's my boomer opinion.
This is a boomer opinion.
I agree with everyone's parents.
Here's the thing, right? I understand how it can be frustrating for the people of your generation
I'm gonna throw you out a window.
to hate this. However, I do think it's a little over the top with the only your phone that controls it. Like there should definitely be a little everything I own that also has an app has a little controller or buttons on it that allow me to do it physically. That's the smart way to go about things. And that's the way that I think it should go. However, the account thing, I think makes sense. It just makes for more seamless things. The music thing, then fucking play it. Like, don't get the subscription service for the music that you already have. Listen to the damn CDs you got, the damn cassettes.
You're telling me you wouldn't throw someone in traffic if they walked around with a CD Walkman right now? You saw someone walk around with a Walkman, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, it's a time traveler. We need to kill them." They're gonna
So
step on a
then,
bug and cause a butterfly effect.
don't fucking complain, Evan.
There are too many things that are subscriptions. Not everything needs to be a subscription service. I should also be able to buy things once and use them. So many cars are moving now where like the heated seats are on a subscription service. That's fucking
Nah,
insane.
you know what I hate? You know what I freaking hate?
Yes,
Is when I
join me.
have something
Bring
in
me.
my watch list on, let's call it fucking Max.
Yes.
Next thing you know, I don't watch it by the end of the month or whatever. I didn't realize it was leaving Max. Now
Yeah.
it's on fucking Netflix.
Yeah.
So you tell me now I have to subscribe to fucking Netflix in order to
Yes.
watch Idle
Yes.
Hands or whatever random
you.
example for a movie?
Now
That
you're
is
getting it.
annoying.
Now you're
However,
getting it.
I do believe in physical media superiority. I don't
Agreed.
partake in this, mostly because I like space. But I do think that for movies and shows specifically, it would be pretty like if you could get the physical copies of movies and shit like that. Like, congratulations.
If I like a movie or a DVD or a TV show enough, I will buy it.
Yeah, but I'm not. What am I gonna fucking play it on? I don't have anything to play it on.
So you gotta always have something. All right, rapid fire. We'll go back and forth. Some takes that we have left. I think I have one that I think is gonna make you explode. I might save that to the end of the rapid fire, and we can save that as like
You're gonna hate my next one.
Sure.
This is a non-wrestling one.
Okay.
And it's like no one's gonna fucking agree with me.
Okay.
Ground turkey's better than ground beef.
Honestly, depending on the use, sometimes yeah.
Nope.
Like
anything.
every time.
Every time.
So you'd rather have a turkey burger than a regular burger?
Yes.
Oh. I respect your opinion. I respect your ability to have it.
However, here's the caveat.
Okay.
I don't trust others. Like if I'm in a situation where I have to choose between a turkey burger or a burger, and I'm at like a restaurant, I will get just the normal burger.
If it's trust them to do the turkey.
If it's me, we're good. Okay. I'm getting the ground turkey 100%.
So like turkey meatballs, like everything you're doing. Okay, I
do love a chicken meatball. You ever have the ground chicken?
Yeah, I use a lot of ground chicken and a lot of ground turkey. I'm
not talking about chicken. Chicken's 100% last on this. Like okay. Chickens, but ground turkey over ground beef.
Okay, I respect your opinion. It is very good. I still like ground beef for a lot of things, but I respect it.
Everything.
Length of title reign does not make a title reign great.
That's not a hot take.
It's not a hot take. It's just something I want to make sure that I put on the record. It's not.
Yeah.
There are people who equate, wow, it was so long. Okay. Dean Ambrose held the United States title for over a year, and it sucked. I would like to remind people of that. He lost it in a battle royal to Sheamus. It sucked. It was a bad time. And I am Dean Ambrose's / John Moxley's like biggest supporter. It was a bad time.
Do you want to hear my hot take of all hot takes? I've been saving this one. I was going to save this one for last, but it came to mind now. Okay. And if I don't say it now, I might forget it. 10 years from now. So 10 years from now, it'll be, let's just call it 2035. Just for the round even number, or round number on that. Yeah. Just it looks pretty. 10 years from now, I will officially declare that Gunther is the greatest pro wrestler of all time.
Great. I'm on board. I love
10 years from now.
Why not?
The general consensus will be greater than Cena, greater than Kobashi, greater than Okada, greater than Austin, Flair, Steamboat, whoever you want to put up there in the GOAT conversation. Gunther's right there with all of them. And I don't think that he is there with them. I think Gunther is the number one greatest pro wrestler of all the time 10 years from now.
Okay. So he's going to have to just put banger after banger out for 10 years, essentially.
He's already doing it.
He's doing it. But, yeah, I mean, also, part of it's going to be I trust him to retain his abilities. Obviously, he's a talented guy. It's going to be a little bit of durability things. Obviously, he still is a big guy, and he's 37 already, so by 48. I mean, wrestlers are wrestling a lot longer than normal, or than they used to. So
most of the rosters in their early to mid 40s.
Yeah. Hey, all right. You're talking about greatest stuff. I don't think this is a hot take, but I think there are old heads who will disagree with this, and that's fine. In terms of success per member, the Shield is the greatest wrestling group to have ever existed.
In terms of success per member,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, there's no
It's
competition then
the
at that
easiest
point.
thing, which by association means the Shield is the greatest wrestling stable of all time.
I just think that when you say that, it has to factor in the run only.
Yeah,
And
sure.
during their run, which was what, 2 years? Year and a
Yeah,
half?
2 years.
Like they blew up what, 2014? They debuted 2012. So
Yeah,
it wasn't even a full 2
18
years.
months. 18
So
months.
in their 18 to 20 months or whatever the hell it was, I don't know if I can call that the greatest faction of all time just for that. I love everything they've done after the fact. However, that
Yeah,
doesn't take into effect what it was.
that faction leads to so many good things that I'm just like, yeah, they're
But
the
it's about
best.
what it was. I guess this is just sort of my
Two different ways to look at
interpretation
it. Yeah,
versus
yeah, yeah.
yours. I think of greatest faction of all time, and I think of what they were when they were the Shield, not
Mm.
what came after.
So what's your
Like,
greatest faction of all time?
it's a great question.
Because it's the Shield. Sierra Hotel.
Chaos. Uh, yeah, it's
LIJ.
chaos. No, it's not Lij. Washed Lij is when they finally started winning titles.
The learning tree.
Too soon. It's
Too
too. We're
soon.
recording this on a Thursday, the day after Chris Jericho beat Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World
I know,
Championship,
we're in the worst timeline.
and I'm ready to shoot everyone.
Yeah. All right, give me another one rapid.
Oh my god, this is hard. This is so hard. I have so many in my head. Um, white sauce pasta is better than red sauce pasta.
Why do you do this to me?
Like white base
No,
pasta
I know
sauces are
exactly. I
better
know
than
exactly what
red
you
base
mean.
pasta sauces.
I can't, in my good Portuguese heart, agree with you, but no. It's I literally I want to say like that's fine. No, it's not fine. That's not fine. But it's legal. It's legal. You're allowed to say it. It's a take purge. You're allowed to say it.
It's my take. It's my take.
Oh, your taste buds are fucked up. No chocolate, white sauce, ground. Oh, you make yourself
All
a
right,
little.
first off, I'm not saying I don't like red sauce. I fucking love red sauce. I'm just saying that a white sauce base is better than a red sauce base. And there are obviously so many different variations
Yeah,
of both of
exactly.
those. And I would prefer the red
I just
variations.
think I put all like if you give me a red sauce version of something or a white, like I would prefer a red sauce version of pretty much anything. But that's just me.
Disagree.
There is no logical time when William Regal should have been world champion.
Okay, I
And
agree.
for that reason, it's not that surprising that he was never world champion. Because people will say, who's the best wrestler who's never world champion? Some people say William Regal, including a younger version of myself. However, there's when, where, in what context?
Yeah.
King of the Ring winning, shutting down Raw, William Regal? He was never winning
GM
the world title.
both
GM William
times.
Regal? Like Commissioner Regal? Never. There's
No.
never a time.
Him with Eugene?
WCW? He's a
Tajiri?
man. None of that. William Regal is one of the best professional wrestlers to have ever existed, to have ever walked God's green earth. He is a gift to wrestling between
Yep.
NXT and all the wonderful stuff he's done. Charlie Dempsey's excellent too.
Gonna need a
There
lot
was
more seasoning
never,
before he's ready for anything like
there
that.
was never like do not lie that WWE didn't pull the trigger on William Regal. There was never a time. There was never a place. It was never going to happen. Roddy Piper, entirely different. They absolutely could have done that during a Hogan feud. That would have been totally fine.
Yeah.
However, William Regal, there was never a time.
Do you want, building off of that, I thought of one that hurts me, but I feel like it's a correct hot take.
Sure.
John Cena should not break the record for most titles. Officially,
I
he should not
agree.
hold it on his own.
I agree. He should
For
share the record
multiple
with
reasons.
Flair.
He should share it, not because of I'm not looking at it as this sort of ceremonial. It's Ric Flair really losing that, all that stuff. I'm thinking about it simply as John Cena has not been a good performer in the ring for the last 4 years, pretty much since he came back to face Roman.
Yeah,
He's not been.
that was a fine match, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's not been at a main event level like
No,
that.
no.
And so for me to see him win one of the two world championships, which at that point he's beating Cody or someone who beats Cody, or Gunther or someone who beats Gunther. And for him to take the title off of any of that situation, I think it's fucking ridiculous. And I do not think that he should hold the world title at all at any point for the rest of his career, which at this point is really just a year and some change.
I think there are better ways to do the John Cena retirement. I think people immediately default to doing the 17th world title. I think there are other ways to do the retirement tour. I think,
Yeah.
like, we know he's not going
Also,
to turn
ways where he
heel.
actually wins matches too.
Yeah, I think you could just have him do just a happy little retirement tour. I think it'll be good. I'm excited for whatever his last match is with Orton. I weirdly think it's going to be tiny hot take. Whenever Orton and Cena have their last match, it's going to be a genuine match of the year contender.
I think it'll be a match of the year contender in the way that Rock and Hogan was,
Yeah,
rather
where
than
it's just such a fucking moment.
rather than like Okada Tanahashi.
A work rate one. Yeah, no, I agree. All right, I have my last one. When viewed in the lens of history, the Reign of Terror by Triple H was, as a whole, a net positive for wrestling. It was a net positive
Positive for who?
for the world of wrestling.
Well, when you say that, what do you mean?
The Reign of Terror leads in part and was done partly because of Evolution, which leads to the careers of both Randy Orton and Batista, which I think are good things.
But how
And
does Triple H's reign of terror
because
facilitate that?
because Batista winning and the moment and really the elevation of Batista does not happen without that.
But
I
he'd
think
already lost the title by that point
I
multiple
also
times.
think I also think that without the Reign of Terror, there's no guarantee that Triple H is treated like the full star that he is.
I completely disagree with that.
And then right now Triple H is leading
He's
a
one of
really
the holdover, like one of the main holdovers from the Attitude Era,
Triple
in
H is
which
leading a great generation of wrestling right now.
but
And we don't
that still
maybe
probably happens
we
without the
have
reign of terror.
no way of knowing if
He
that
still
happens.
marries the boss's daughter,
We have
man.
no way of knowing. I think it's a necessary evil. I
I
think if we went back in
disagree.
time and changed it, there's no maybe we come back to a worse future. Who
I
knows?
disagree, and I'm judging you internally.
I created this take simply because I tried to think of the thing that would piss you off the
I got
most.
3 different things that pissed me off severely this episode.
I don't agree with. So I'm gonna put this. I don't agree with this take whatsoever.
You son of a bitch.
I can't
You know
even
what?
put it in the take
You
purge.
know what?
I
I'm gonna say it. I'm
I
gonna say it. Kofi Kingston should not have been the one to beat Bryan Danielson at WrestleMania
sure.
35.
I can understand why.
He should never have been a world champion. Kofi Kingston is not a main event player in
I
any
can understand that.
capacity.
That's fine.
Decent moment, wasted.
It's sure. I just need to put out there because I could feel your rage boiling through.
Son of a
I
bitch.
literally I wrote all my takes and then I was like, what is the take that if I come up with it, it will make Javier the most mad?
You son of a bitch.
All right, you got one last one?
I do have one last one.
All right.
Seth Rollins really should have been the guy to carry the flag over the last decade in WWE. Like he should have been the main event guy. He
Okay.
should have been the one propelled to that standard. And I say that for multiple reasons. One, he's going to have the best matches. Two, he's got this outwardly charisma to him that has always been there.
Always has.
Three,
Yeah.
fucking fantastic with media. Like nobody takes
Very
themselves less seriously, but also like in a serious way than Seth
Also,
Rollins.
somebody who is a diehard WWE guy.
Yes, die hard. But not only that, is a guy who does have an independent wrestling background. Like he knows, like he's friends and like not friends, but he's like, I don't know actually know what their relationship is, but like he's not gonna like tear down the Bucks and Omega and all these guys in AEW. Like you've never heard him say a bad word about AEW. I don't think you've heard him talk shit to Ospreay, which he later apologized about. But
Which I
that's
also think is partly because he eventually wants to have a match with Ospreay.
yeah, it's also probably more of a like wrestling machismo thing,
Yeah.
more so than like him being an asshole about it. But like good guy behind the scenes, great talker, great character, great wrestler, great characters, great wrestler, can do it as a heel or a baby face, can like just everything about him. Great look. It's not even like he's like this small little vanilla midget, because he's not that. He's pretty tall. He's pretty ripped. He's got all the things about him. He's connected with the crowds at all levels. Back in 2015, when he had his heel run as champion, he was firing on all cylinders.
That's true.
And the project that was Roman Reigns took too fucking long when they had the guy there the entire time. This whole thing of building everything up just to hand it off to Cody Rhodes, while it was fantastic in the moment, it didn't have to happen, because we had the other guy who was really the foil for Roman Reigns right there this entire time.
I agree. I wholeheartedly.
Seth Rollins should have been the face of this company for the last decade, and he wasn't, and it's absolutely a tragedy.
Do you hear that? That's the Purge siren. This take Purge is over. I want to say I just blacked out for an hour and 15 minutes. I don't really know what happened. The Shield's probably not the greatest group to ever exist. It's probably not true. You know, the Reign of
I'm not
Terror
going to
was
judge you
great.
for it.
Yeah. Do you have any that you want that you just blacked out and said just to annoy the general public?
Yeah, the Kofi Kingston one was the one
Thank
that
you.
I blacked out on.
I agree. That's fair.
I think it was a great moment. I love Kofi Kingston. I don't see him as a main eventer ever, and I actually think that his run, while very good, in hindsight, it's just like, Kofi?
Lightning in a bottle, baby. All right. This was fun. This is a good. We'll do more take Purges. Maybe we'll do it once a year. Just let everything off our chest.
Yeah, we might do a whole season. We might end another season with this one day.
Yeah, we'll just make this the season ender all the time. We just talk about our best and worst takes. I think it's a great idea. All right. As you all know, this is the last episode of season 1, the 238 episode season, the 4.5-year season. My goodness, what a run.
I'm tired, boss.
Follow us on social media at Crossbody Work on Twitter, on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube if you're not already. We're on the road to 400 subscribers now. We're at 380. Check out the merch table. Javi's got the shirt on. I got the sweater. I got the bag back there. You can see it if you're on YouTube. Boop. It's right there.
Got the hat
Very
right
cool.
here.
Javi's got the hat right there.
That's
Check
what
us
that
out.
hat-
Merch link is in the podcast show notes and under the description, in the description on the YouTube. You should follow Javier on social media wherever he tells you right now.
I'm on the Twitter machine at JMelloSports.
Follow me at It's Evan Gomes, ITSEVANGOMES, and follow us so you get all the updates about season 2 when we break down the entire year of 1998 in wrestling. Should be coming to you later in 2024 or early in 2025.
We will keep you updated on the date.
There will be postings on YouTube, on Instagram. We'll be making reels. We'll make YouTube content. There's going to be lots of stuff happening. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be a fun time. Hey, thanks. If you've been listening for a long time, thinking about you, King Chad, and some of our other longtime listeners, thank you for supporting us during season 1. We hope you'll be back for season 2. This is like our favorite thing. We do this for fun. We do this because it's a really good time. We both love wrestling. We both love talking. We have a lot of fun. I made a great friend from this.
Yes.
You know what? This has been awesome.
I appreciate this.
Yeah, this is what we do. So, without further ado, it's time for the final part of everyone's favorite part of the podcast. Javier, any final words for the people?
This week on Life Advice with Javier, most of you probably aren't going to listen to this in time, but know your deadlines for voter registration here in the United States. It's coming up within the next few days or week or whatever the hell it is. Voting's happening on November 5th.
I was going to say it's the 5th.
It's the 5th. Polls are open, I believe, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
That's all over the country, I believe. Polls close 8 p.m. I think Western or whatever y'all got over there on the Western Coast. I'm forgetting it off the top of my head. Pacific Coast time or whatever. Though. That's what it is. Get out there, vote. I obviously have my political leanings. Let's just say they are the same color as the ocean, baby. But I will never detract someone who wants to go out there and use their voice and put in a vote. Whatever your reasons are for doing it, I hope they're good ones, and I hope that they're wise and conscious, and they're not just total dumb bullshit and you vote for some random ass write-in or whatever the hell. Because this is an important election. We're entering a critical time period for us as a society here, with advancements in technology and the rising cost of everything and all sorts of stuff. So get yourself informed on what these candidates really, 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 really want to do. And not only that, look at the questions on your ballot, stuff that affects you at a local level. Look at the your reps, your whoever's up for local elections as well. That stuff's just as important as the general countrywide election is. So know your voter registration. Make sure you're all registered to vote. Know where you're going to vote. Have a plan to do it. Again, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. regardless of where you are. So go out there, make your vote count. Appreciate all you guys.
Vote. I'm not gonna say vote or die because that was a Diddy thing, and we're not on that life anymore. No, ain't no party like a Diddy party. All right, that can't be the last thing I say. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be nice with the end of this. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back either late 2024 or early 2025. Check our socials for all the news about season 2. We'll talk to you then.
Later, guys.